bro. Let's talk about the Denver friggin' Nuggets here. This is some this is probably the postseason, the craziest postseason I've ever seen, with the most amount of upsets. Um, Come on, man. Let's talk about this. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, absolutely crapped the bed tonight. Um, Jamal Murray, again the Canadian boy, and Mr. Jokic, the Joker, just absolutely showed out, bro. Absolutely dominated these guys. Like it was basically a 20-point game almost. So tell me, what you got to say, Christian? What does this mean for Kawhi's legacy? What does it mean for Paul George's legacy now?
This was absolutely atrocious. This was one of the worst games I've ever seen from a superstar in a closeout game. Like, you absolutely got to be kidding me. Kawhi Leonard, we talked about this guy last year. I'm going to have to go ahead and put it all on his head. This loss, this whole situation with the Clippers, this is on Kawhi Leonard's head. And you know what? As much as I appreciate him, and I'm a Raptors fan for what he did for us last year, he as a superstar, he gets all the credit when something goes well like it did last year, and I'm going to put all the blame on him when it goes as horribly wrong as it did this year. And tonight, not even talking about tonight's performance, the whole past few games, the whole series, he just hasn't looked like himself. You know, his efficiency, he's known for his efficiency. He's a guy who goes and he can go and get you a bucket. He can go and just get buckets, right? Didn't see that from him tonight. Especially after everything we've seen from them and their team, him coming and demanding a trade for Paul George to put this team together,
Yeah.
and saying, this is on me. When he left the Raptors, this was an active decision from him, saying, I know I can go and win anywhere. I can go be the head of a team, because he had something great with the Raptors, and they had an amazing chance of repeating if he stayed with that team. So he said, I am the guy wherever I go. I can go put the team on my back. I can go to the LA, demand trades to my hometown, and it's absolutely embarrassing what he did with everything he had. He got Paul George, another star, and just it was atrocious. And it hurts me, because I want the guy to be successful. I want the guy to do well. But when you play like this, when the guy you demanded the trade for plays like this, it's absolutely
Yeah.
it hurts me. It hurts me to watch, and it's hats off to Jamal Murray and Joker for putting on the show they did. But what do you think? What do you think this means for Kawhi? Because we talked about this last year, as when he stepped up as a superstar, LeBron didn't make playoffs. We started talking about that conversation. Who's going to step up and replace
Yeah.
LeBron as the best player in the league as he starts to age? And the two answers were Giannis and Kawhi. And Kawhi took over Giannis when we beat them in the Eastern Conference Finals. So I want to hear your take. So after all that conversation, he's the new guy, Kawhi, in this league. What do you think about that performance and what it means for his legacy?
I think it's just surprising because going into the game, I was already saying that I don't think that Kawhi is going to have an issue with his performance here, because he's the type of guy who just inches 7 points every quarter, makes a 28-point game, and bang. Like, he's just that guy. He
Yes.
just sneaks up on you, and that's it. He shut down the game. Like, it's over.
Yep.
But
Yep.
man, what did we see tonight? 14 points, man. 6 of 22 from the field. Gross. This is like
It's
I
a
don't really know what
stain.
to say. It
It's
is
a
a stain.
stain.
It's a complete
Yeah.
stain on his legacy, on his career. I don't know what he's gonna do. Trying to rehaul this team. Even Doc Rivers as a coach, man. Like, he's been on the Clippers, and now he's 0 of 8 in elimination games. Like, this is
He's
just
got to
sad.
go.
He's
He's
got to
got to
go.
go.
He's got to go. There's no way you could just keep him like that. Um, I don't know, man. What I wanted to see was, of course, Kawhi and LeBron. We're not even going to get to see that now. Uh,
Well, we were getting prepared to talk about the Battle of
yeah,
LA. 3-1 series. We've seen this before. Like, Kawhi Leonard, how are you going to blow three in a row? Kawhi Leonard. They have the best player in the world, so we thought, nope, that's not the case. And to your
yeah.
point, we're not going to get to see the matchup everyone wanted to see, the Battle of LA. It's not going to happen. But this opens up an intriguing matchup. I mean,
Hmm.
before we get on to the Denver Nuggets and how they play it and how we think they're going to fare against the Lakers, I also just want to bring up Paul. This is also on Paul George and Doc Rivers' head. To your point, Doc Rivers has to go. He can't stick around there as the head coach
Hmm.
anymore. Just continued unsuccessful postseason after unsuccessful postseason.
And he's
Um,
had several teams that were at the ability level where he could at least get
He
them
had
to the
Lob
conference
City
finals.
for 4 years,
Yeah,
4 years in their
yeah.
prime. CP3, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, back when bigs were actually important in
Oh
this
yeah.
league.
And
And
he was a big who started stretching it. Blake Griffin started coming outside, dropping those threes, and he already had DeAndre inside.
yep, yep,
CP3 was like obviously the ultimate passer.
yep.
I don't know. And then of course this was like a Clippers super team, but they struggled.
Because they have a
So
lot of pieces, but ultimately they lack them where they most count. They have the two wings, but at the point guard spot, who do you have? You got Pat Beverly, you got Lou Will. I mean, those are some dogs, but is it a leader like Kawhi had and Kyle Lowry and Fred Van
hmm
Vliet, who's going to show up when you need them most? Do you have a center, a veteran center like Marcus Gasol, who's going to shut down people in the paint? Ibaka, who's another veteran, has been there, been to the finals. So, you know what? I don't want to turn this into because I'm starting to sound like a salty Raptors fans. I don't want to turn this into a why he should have stayed video, but ultimately that decision led to you can there's so much to blame, but ultimately I
yeah.
think it ends up falling on Kawhi's head. Um, so yeah, let's talk about the Denver Nuggets, man. Um, Jokic, Jamal Murray dropped 40 points tonight. Jokic had a triple double,
Yeah.
22 rebounds,
Insane.
16 points, 13 assists. Like, are you kidding me? Like these guys, did you see this coming from them at all, Pratik?
I mean, it's not that it's not that I didn't see it coming from them because it makes sense that it can come from them. Like, Jokic out rebounded the entire starting lineup of the Clippers. Like, what the
Yep.
heck? I
Yep.
mean, this is like how many offensive rebounds did he have during the game? I
Hmm.
mean, most of them are defensive, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
just how many second chance opportunities did this guy create? Where it's like, okay, one guy misses a shot, and then on top of that, they're shooting high percentage. You have Jamal Murray shooting like 57% tonight, like absolutely insane.
Unbelievable.
You know, this guy was
But at
lights
what
out, bro.
point
40 points, 40 points against Kawhi. Kawhi has nothing to say, man. This kid is absolute savage. 3-1 twice. Came back from 3-1 twice.
and at what point are people going to start paying attention to Jamal Murray? I
Yeah.
mean, I guess if there's no better time than now, but in the first series when they came back from 3-1, the whole series was Murray Mitchell, one of the best matchups we've ever seen from two young
hmm
stars. Murray came on top by an inch. Utah almost won with a crazy buzzer beater. Conley almost hit a buzzer beater to send Utah on, right? And we might have seen Mitchell in the same position as we see Murray in right now. But Murray, man, like this guy he's been dropping 40 plus 50 pieces all in
Bro,
both of
we
these
haven't
series.
seen something like this since like Iverson, man. Where like
But
Derrick
we
Rose, I don't know, in like the postseason where they're dropping like close to 40 a game. Like,
it's the coming out of a superstar.
it
He's
is.
coming
It
out as a
literally is.
superstar. So is Jokic. And
Yeah.
Jokic has always been a guy, people say he's like top 10, but do they really mean it? Because he's not that athletic guy. He doesn't do it the usual way. He's not like LeBron James where he's super physically dominant or Kawhi Leonard, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like spot the difference. You can put them all up in multiple pictures. Spot the difference between Jokic and the rest of the top guys.
But
And
like,
you
yo,
can he's a big chubby white guy, and he doesn't even look like he's in shape. And his skill set is off the charts. He can drain
it's
shots,
so
he can
insane.
make plays out of double teams. His passing ability, you saw that little whoop pass
Oh
over
my
the head to
God.
the end there. Obviously the game was over, but just to show off a little
Just to
bit,
show
right?
off, yeah.
So his skill set is unbelievable. So he's coming out as a superstar, and Jamal Murray is absolutely a superstar. This is one of the best duos I've seen, and it's going to be tough for Anthony Davis and LeBron James. It's going to be interesting to see how they fare against this duo.
But isn't it dope how you have an off like point guard center balance like that where you have Jokic being the one who facilitates plays for Jamal Murray to
It's
come in?
amazing. It's
Like,
amazing to watch big men pass, and we got a taste of it with Toronto with Marcus
yeah.
Gasol, but not to the level Jokic does it.
And
Jokic is
in a way,
in a,
this is
he
like
shows
completely
flat
new play
Marcus
style.
Gasol. Yeah, it is. But so Marc Gasol was like kind of the original. I mean, Pau Gasol had some passing too with Kobe back in the day,
Hmm.
and there have been passing big men, but Marc Gasol is one who's been the best passing big man in the league for a while until Jokic came around. And something about these European bigs, man. Something about these, they teach them how to pass over there in Europe.
Yeah, they do.
But yeah, it's unbelievable skill set. So how they match up, I mean, AD versus Jokic, that's going to be, I mean, can he shut AD down? AD's been dominant in the last couple of series. He's been able, he just faced off against Houston. He ate whatever he wanted to. He was given
But
absolutely anything he
Houston
wanted.
has nobody, like nobody, absolutely nobody.
Exactly. No, that's what I'm saying. So AD had anything he wanted.
Yeah.
Now he's coming up against Jokic. That's going to be a tougher matchup for AD. Defensively, Jokic is solid too. He's a big body. You can't just bully him and abuse him in the paint. You can't shoot over him. Like his positioning and getting over top of guys when they're going for a jump shot. He's going to be tough to shoot over and tough
He
to bully
is
in the paint. So AD's going to have his hands full. And you know what? At the
completely.
same point, Jokic is going to have his hands full because he did whatever he wanted to Montrezl Harrell in this series. And they sent double teams at him this game, and he was great at passing out of them. And they dared Murray to beat him, and he did.
Hmm.
But he's great at working out of the double team too, Jokic. So
Exactly. But okay, so now with Jokic, right? What do you think of the fact that AD? I mean, Jokic also had Gobert to face, you know.
he
So
did. Yes, that was a
he's
tough
already
matchup.
came out of a very tough defensive matchup because
Yeah.
I honestly think Gobert is better. I mean, AD was of course nominated for Defensive Player of the Year. That's a hard thing to say. I can't really say Gobert is better than AD at defense, but
Well,
I
Gobert
could
did
say
win DPOY. AD's in the conversation,
AD's in
so
the
I
conversation.
see your
So
point. I get what
it's
you're saying.
comparable, right? It's
Yep.
comparable. But
Yeah.
who has AD come out? If he faced Nurkic, Hassan Whiteside didn't really show up that series. Not the same way Gobert did.
It's just
You
not the
know,
same team.
it's
It's
just
just
not the
not the
same
same
team.
team.
So I don't
Now,
know. I
deep in the
think
playoffs, everyone's facing killers. This is the point in playoffs where it's killers are here. It's all the superstars are left. You got Jimmy Butler versus Jason Tatum, and you got Murray and Jokic versus LeBron and AD, and
hmm
it's just this is where we are, and it's amazing
And what
basketball.
I foresee next series is I don't really see like Lakers coming up 3-1 and them and Denver doing this again. I think it's going to be more of an even matchup. I think Denver's already going to come out swinging from the
Well,
get-go. I feel like they've
Denver's
found their
got
stride now.
who's got more pressure? Denver's got no pressure on
No
in this
pressure.
series. No
Zero
pressure.
pressure again.
Does anyone expect Denver to win?
No. Well, it's
Denver.
not that nobody expects Denver, but they're still a huge underdog. Like,
That's my. But I don't think anyone expects.
mhm.
I'm going to be honest. I favor the Lakers in the series just because LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I think are a duo we've yet to see the likes of in NBA history since it's Kobe and Shaq.
Mhm.
They're a two-headed monster, and I keep saying that, but I favor them, but I can't get over the problems that they've given that the Denver Nuggets have given to other teams.
Oh
So
yeah.
so that's why we're speaking of them. This is their night. This was their night tonight, and man, that's going to be a wild series. So
Mhm.
we'll see who comes out of it.